Narcissists? They've got weak spots, and let's be honest, it's not exactly a revelation. Narcissism is like a badly tuned engine. Serious personality imbalance under the hood. And if you know where to poke, you can throw the whole machine off track, send them spiraling into a stupor and take the reins. In this little tete-a-tete, I'll share 6 killer tactics to send a narcissist spinning. So stick around, we've got no time to waste. Let's dive in. Starting with the first point, narcissists need your emotions. This is the cornerstone of everything I'm about to unfold because, at their core, narcissists are emotional vampires. Their bread and butter is provoking reactions. Doesn't matter if they're positive or negative. It's all fuel for their insatiable fire. When they can push your buttons and elicit a reaction, they feel a heady rush of power. It's a twisted little game, swinging between highs and lows. One moment they're charming your socks off. The next, they've plunged you into the depths of despair. And you know what? They revel in this chaos. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to deny them that emotional feast. Keep all your interactions as chill as an iceberg. Stay calm, steady, and utterly zen. This is your secret weapon. Now, let's dig into the tactics. Point number 1, grandiose self-opinion. Narcissists strut around like peacocks, convinced they're the best at everything, best expert, best lover, best connoisseur of the universe. But here's the kicker. Their grand proclamations rarely match reality. Your job? Smash that inflated ego against the cold, hard wall of truth. Picture this. They're bragging about being the ultimate specialist. Your response? Sure, but if you're so great, why's your boss still got the corner office while you're stuck in a cubicle? Their own logic will unravel them. They might stammer some excuse about not needing a title or claim their paycheck is just fine. But keep digging. So, if you're rolling in dough, why are you drowning in debt? Or, I thought you were supposed to be living large. Why did you pass on that vacation? Each pointed question sends them deeper into the emotional quicksand, and soon you'll see the mask slip. They'll be scrambling for justification. And guess what? You flipped the script. You're now the one calling the shots. But why does this unravel them so easily? Narcissists are the architects of their own fantasy worlds, where they reign supreme, adored and feared in equal measure. They craft elaborate narratives of success, power and respect, all designed to mask the stark contrast with reality. The pain of stepping out of their fantasy is unbearable. By grounding them in facts and specifics, things they loathe, you're effectively yanking them from their happy place and dropping them into the stark light of truth. So, as they wax poetic about their grand plans and ambitions, I'm the best and soon I'll be running my own empire, raking in millions and having biopics made about my spectacular life. Your job is to hit them with reality checks. What steps are you taking to make that happen? Or how are you going to fund this empire? Watch as they scramble for answers that just won't come. They can talk the talk, but when it comes to walking the walk, they're often barefoot and lost. So here's the game plan. Start hounding them with specifics. What have you done to get there? What steps have you taken up to now? What are you doing right this second? And what's on the agenda for tomorrow, next week, next month, this year? You're asking for a blueprint, a concrete plan. Narcissists have a knack for dodging specifics, like a skilled matador evading children. Why? Because they've become so ensnared with their own fantasies that they've lost touch with the cold, hard truth of reality. They've wrapped themselves in a cocoon of delusion where they're already living the dream. And that makes it tough to muster the motivation or build actionable steps toward any of their grandiose goals. So, calmly and tactfully, steer them back to the real world. What did you do today for that dream? What about yesterday? Watch as this probing unravels them. They might try to bail on the conversation, act out, or even turn the pressure back on you. The more you disrupt their fragile state, the more desperate and nonsensical their justifications will become, and that's where you seize the moment and reel them in. And naturally, this leads us to point number 3. the belief in their own exclusivity. Narcissists don't just think they're the best. They've built an entire empire in their minds where they're royalty. They've convinced themselves they deserve a red carpet rollout while the rest of us peasants wallow in the muck. They look down on everyone around them, the everyday folks riding buses and subways, seeing them as mere extras in their self-constructed epic. In their heads, they believe they're destined for the company of gods, dining with Elon Musk, sharing brunch with Bill Gates, or mingling with the glitterati. It's a lofty delusion, and the drop from that heavenly perch to the gritty ground is a painful one. So here's where you come in. Steer the conversation toward these icons of success. Bring up their boss, a politician, a renowned artist, whoever resonates with your narcissist. Ask them to wax poetic about what makes these people worthy of admiration. Then hit them with the ultimate curveball. What can you offer this person? Why should they even spare a moment for you? Cue the tumbleweeds. Watch as the narcissist's confidence begins to crack, revealing that deep down they know they don't quite measure up. And here we go with specifics again. Their responses will likely fumble and stall. As they struggle to articulate what they bring to the table. Your mission? Circle back to the previous point and push for clarity. What makes you valuable? If you say you're a great artist, what do you offer that sets you apart? There are plenty of artists who've earned their stripes. Why should anyone take notice of you? The walls will start to close in, emotions will flare, and just like that, you're back in the driver's seat of their emotional roller coaster. You can even flip their tactics against them. If they start lobbing emotional bombs your way, rejection, contempt, anger, play it cool, calm them down, then throw them back into a tailspin. You're not just participating in their little charade, you're orchestrating the whole performance. Now, before we dive into point 4, let's take a moment of introspection. Why are you even entangled with a narcissist in the first place? Maybe it's your partner, your boyfriend, or someone you just can't shake off. It's unbearable and you feel trapped. But here's the truth bomb. You chose this. Somewhere in you lies a vulnerability that drew you to them, and they saw you as prime prey. If you want to regain your power and put the narcissist in their place, you can certainly utilize these techniques, but it all starts with your own emotional management. Showing no emotion is the first step to reclaiming your control. It's going to take a Herculean effort because they will probe relentlessly, seeking to elicit a reaction. But if you manage to stay calm, if you can maintain that Zen-like composure, you'll start to shift the balance of power. And let's not forget, narcissists thrive on excessive praise. This is just another layer to the onion of their fragile psyche. They require a constant influx of adoration, and it's a direct offshoot of everything we've discussed. So, here's the kicker. When a narcissist sees themselves as this irreplaceable gem, they need those external validations to keep their grandiosity afloat. They're like ships adrift on a sea of public opinion, forever seeking those precious pearls of praise to anchor their fragile self-worth. Every manipulation, every emotional game they play is aimed squarely at earning that validation. When they receive it, they think, aha, I'm on the right track. It reinforces their delusion that their actions are justified, that they are indeed the greatest. But let's flip the script for a moment. When they encounter objective criticism, something devoid of emotion or any semblance of praise, it throws them for a loop. Calm, constructive feedback, or heaven forbid being ignored altogether, sends them spiraling. It forces them to grapple with the uncomfortable truth. Perhaps they're not as exceptional as they think. This is your opportunity to withhold the accolades. Don't get sucked into their vortex of neediness. If they do something nice, let's say they bring you flowers or take you out for dinner, that's their initiative, not an invitation for you to shower them with excessive gratitude. A simple, cool thank you suffices. If you find yourself overwhelmed with guilt or a sense of obligation in return, recognize that this is precisely where the narcissist has you, right in their manipulative crosshairs. They prey on individuals who carry an inherent sense of shame or the belief that they owe something to the world. You don't owe them a damn thing. If someone gives you a gift, it's their choice, their desire to make you happy. Accept it without strings attached. Now, circling back to the issue of praise, narcissists often operate under the delusion that everyone around them should be attuned to their desires without them needing to ask. It's like they're expecting a telepathic link where you should just know what they want without them uttering a word. Asking directly? That's like admitting they're human, weak, incomplete. So instead they drop hints like breadcrumbs, hoping someone will pick up on their not-so-subtle cues. Here's where you can really start to dig in. If you give them something they're not thrilled about, let's say a yoga mat when they wanted the latest iPhone, watch the reaction. Their self-worth plummets, and even if they hide it, you'll see that tension creeping in. Use this to your advantage. Push them to articulate their discontent. What didn't you like about it? Why? Force them to justify their emotions. It'll sting, trust me. Now let's take it a step further. Hold back from giving them what they want until they explicitly ask for it. And when they finally do, keep that wish just out of reach. Prioritize yourself first. If they want you to whip up dinner but you're itching for a manicure, get that manicure. If you'd rather groom your cat Boris than binge watch their latest obsession, you do just that. Make it abundantly clear that your needs come first. This is when the narcissist will start to simmer. They'll resent this shift, get offended, and even try to provoke you. Keep your cool though. Counter their emotional outbursts with, "Who are you to demand that I prioritize you above myself?" Make them justify why they think they deserve the top spot on your list of priorities. Spoiler alert. They won't have a coherent answer, and that's when the absurdity of their arguments will come pouring out. This roller coaster of emotions will leave them flailing. Use their own tactics against them. Provoke, then calm them down, and watch the chaos unfold. You'll be orchestrating their emotional turmoil like a maestro at the symphony. In this intricate dance, you'll find the power to navigate the narcissist's whims. And remember, each encounter is a step toward regaining control. Keep your eye on the prize, your own emotional balance and self-worth. We can't overlook the undeniable truth. Narcissists inhabit a realm of grandiose self-perception, crafting a universe where they're the main character deserving of exceptional treatment. Yet somewhere in that fantastical mind, there's a flicker of awareness that this narrative is nothing but a shimmering mirage. They're acutely aware that others are leading fulfilling lives, nailing relationships, climbing the career ladder, and pursuing hobbies with gusto. And therein lies the rub. This stark contrast breeds a deep-seated envy. These individuals are living the lives the narcissists only dare to dream about. But acknowledging that envy, that would mean confronting feelings of weakness and worthlessness, territory they refuse to tread. Instead, their minds cleverly pivot. They convince themselves that it's others who envy them, thwarting their progress and dismissing their greatness. This is a psychological sleight of hand, a defense mechanism that shields their fragile ego from the truth. This twisted perspective manifests in their interactions. Praise for others? Rarely. Compliments feel like stepping into quicksand. It's a struggle for them to utter simple words of encouragement like, "Well done," or "This person is great." But criticize, "Oh, that's a walk in the park." They can tear others down with the precision of a skilled marksman, pointing out every flaw and misstep. When they mutter about politicians being scoundrels or deride a colleague's success as cheap, they're trying to elevate their own self-image, casting themselves as the honest, misunderstood souls navigating a cruel world. Your role? To hold up a mirror to their distorted reality. A straightforward approach often proves most effective. When they unleash their critiques, say about someone like Masha, hit them with a simple question: what have you achieved? After all, Masha isn't just some random person. She's a successful lawyer with her own firm, a burgeoning social media presence, and a host of followers hanging on her every word. Asking what have you achieved will trigger that all-too-familiar glitch in the narcissist's carefully constructed matrix. Another effective tactic: point out their contradictions. If they bemoan their boss, Misha, calling him a shameless, slimy hypocrite, counter with something like, But isn't Misha's shamelessness what opens doors? He asks for raises, attracts other employers, and has a magnetic charisma that draws people in. Maybe the issue isn't Misha. It's you, stuck in your room, socially awkward and avoiding interaction. You're highlighting the traits they deny in others while glaringly lacking in themselves. To wrap this all up, let's distill the essence of this exploration into two core ideas. Emotions. Remember, do not give the narcissist the emotional reactions they crave. This is the cornerstone of their manipulation. Inconsistency. There's a glaring disparity between the narcissist's fantasies and the harsh truths of reality. They cling to their colorful delusions while the real world is often drab and unforgiving. By bringing the narcissist back to reality, confronting them with the truth, you'll evoke emotions and gain the upper hand. It truly is that simple. Cheers.